Hello and very warm welcome to all of you on this session on cross-culture sensitization. My name is Pratik. I have done doctorate in learning and development. I am EQI 2.0 certified and ACTP certified coach by International Coaching Federation. Today, I am going to talk to you about cross-culture sensitization. In my life and my experience around 19 and a half years, so far I have dealt with various clients from various geographies, right from US, Israel, Middle East, to Central and Eastern Europe, to Western Europe, to UK, to the US, so on and so forth. And each time I meet different people, I find that this is a different experience altogether. Whenever we talk about various experiences, we always wonder why people behave the way they do, or why people sometimes are not so explicit, or sometimes they are too direct to the extent that we consider them a little rude. However, there is a complete cultural synthesis model that one needs to look at. Culture is nothing but an element that comes from our belief systems, our religion practices, our society, and overall the kind of norms those have been set. Now, various people have various norms. For example, you go to any Far East Asian countries or Southeast Asian countries, including Japan, Korea, China, Singapore, you would always find that people hand over cards or their visiting cards with utmost care. For example, in Japan, when you go and you present your card, you are expected to do something like this. You present your card with both your hands facing the person to whom you are supposed to hand over the card. This is called meisha in Japan. Okay? If you are doing this, this means I am really happy to present my card with the company that I work with, which I am proud of. Okay. In other parts of the world, visiting card is taken or given in a very casual manner. Okay. Second difference that I would like to tell you, it's always said a truth is a truth and must be spoken to the greatest detail if you are in Germany. A truth is good as long as it does not rock boat in UK, and a truth is always negotiable if you are in Italy and China. So, these are various elements how we look at communication. For example, if somebody says, I will get back to you in India or in UK or in the US, it would be taken up as I will never come back to you. Okay. Whereas, if you say the same sentence in a slightly different nation or a nation which has slightly different culture than this, it is expected that you get back to the person. However, these things are very, very different in terms of their overall communication or things which are seen very, very explicitly. Okay. However, this explicitness has to be understood by understanding A, the historical, B, the management, C, the cultural, and D, the societal experience. For example, you go to any Far East Asian countries, it is always about collectivism and harmony at the workplace. Vis-a-vis, you come to US, which is more individualistic. So, we talk about individual preferences, we talk about individual habits. For example, in India, it is very common that you speak to your colleague or your bosses about your families or your friends, etc. In certain countries, these are strict taboos. In some of the countries, while going to a client's place, you get a gift which is expected by the client. But in some countries, gift giving is strictly prohibited when it comes to delivering a particular business relation. Now, all businesses these days are going global. We have people from various geographies, various races, countries, etc. We have our clients located in different geographies, we have our vendors working in different geographies, we have our teams which are getting diverse from time and again. So, we are talking about organizations getting global and diverse. In this in this context, it is all the more important that we display sensitivity towards their culture. How can it be done? I would like to take an example of an Indian couple who had been to Norway, and they were force feeding one of their children, and immediately the restaurant manager reported it to the local authorities. They were imprisoned. This happened chiefly because they did not know the law of the land, or they did not know that in Norwegian culture you cannot force feed a child. You are not supposed to be forcing something down the. This has created a lot of repercussions globally, to the extent that the embassies had to step in, they had to really resolve these issues at their level. The question is, could this be avoided? If they were sensitized towards the culture of the land or the law of the land, this could have been easily avoided. Okay? So, it is all the more important that we are talking about the global cultures to be understood in the local context and in the regional context when we are going to do businesses with them, when we are going to be with them time and again, and when we are going to interact with them on daily basis. So, A, understanding the norms, B, understanding the behaviors, C, understanding the communication pattern. For example, if somebody who has come from an implicit cultural background like Japan or any Far East Asian countries or India for that matter, okay, rather than saying an upfront no, they would prefer their responses being a little implicit. One of my clients, John, who is from US, went to Japan. When he went to Japan, he was trying to find out whether the decision on the proposal that he had submitted to his client could be made easily. So, he went on offering discounts, offering freebies to them, and then said, does that really look good to you? The counterpart said, yes, it looks good to me. Okay. Some parts are really interesting. So, he says, can I consider it done? He says, I will go through it along with my colleagues, and definitely this looks interesting. Now, in this context, John thought that the contract is getting signed, whereas this in Japanese culture very clearly meant no. Okay. This is the way that cultures differ, and in cultural backgrounds you need to display sensitivity towards the culture that you are dealing with. Another example that I would like to give. Okay, what this sign mean to you? Great, thumbs up, all the best, right? But one of my friends who went to Latin America, he showed this sign to one of the co-workers who was a female. She came and slapped him across the face, because this sign is considered as an obscene sign in some of the Latin American cultures. Now, we understand why we need to understand cultures. Globally, we are talking about 196 countries, 7,000 languages, and close to 7.6 billion population. It would be really interesting to know how many cultures are present in the world, how we can deal with them and make good relationships if we understand them better. This is where I welcome you all to join cross-culture sensitization, understand other cultures and look at a synthesis of various cultures. This would enable you to deal with your clients better, with your workforce better, with your colleagues and vendors better. So, for a better business understanding and to avoid any misunderstandings in future, cross culture sensitization is a must. That's about it.